Keith Urban is facing backlash after a surprising appearance he made over the weekend, performing for none other than President Donald Trump down at Mar-a-Lago. And this has apparently ignited some controversy among his own fans, with a number of them saying they are outraged that he would perform in front of President Trump. And it's getting harder and harder for artists to stay neutral in the music business. You've got a lot of fans demanding to know exactly where you stand before they even buy a concert ticket. Usually, Keith Urban is the guy who manages to kind of stay out of this stuff. He's all about the music, the guitar solos, and having a good time. Obviously, he's had some personal stuff in the news, but you don't really ever see him getting dragged into politics. But this weekend, Keith walked right into the center of the political universe. And depending on who you ask, a number of his fans are pissed off by the move. Keith Urban was spotted at Mar-a-Lago, and he wasn't just there for dinner, he was the entertainment. But if you think that headline is the whole story, wait until you hear what song he decided to belt out while standing just a few feet away from the President of the United States. So this wasn't a public campaign rally. It wasn't a standard ticketed event. It was a high-dollar private event hosted at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. The man apparently writing the check for the party was Australian billionaire Anthony Pratt. Pratt is apparently a massive figure in the industrial world. He runs Pratt Industries. He's one of the wealthiest people in Australia. And naturally, since it was a Mar-a-Lago event, President Trump was front and center. Reports and photos from the night show the president sitting directly next to Pratt and enjoying the show from Keith Urban. And of course, Keith Urban, a fellow Aussie, gets hired to play the gig. It's really just a corporate booking. A billionaire hires a country superstar for a private party. But apparently by stepping onto the stage at Mar-a-Lago, Keith immediately lit a fuse on social media, as we've unfortunately seen so many times before. Now, apparently this billionaire isn't just a guy renting a hall. According to Axios, he's a heavy hitter in the political finance world. He reportedly donated $10 million to President Trump's 2024 election campaign. And back in April, he pledged a staggering $5 billion to support the push to re-industrialize the United States. So Keith wasn't just playing a dive bar. He was playing for some serious power brokers, and that is exactly why the backlash started almost instantly. Now, here's where the story takes a bit of a surprising turn. Usually when country artists play events for President Trump, you expect a certain vibe. You think Lee Greenwood, Jason Aldean. You expect those red, white, and blue patriotic anthems. Keith Urban went a bit of a different route. Videos from the event show Keith ripping into a cover of Chappell Roan's massive hit, Pink Pony Club. He also performed a cover of Bob Marley's Is This Love? Now, as soon as the footage hit social media, the comment section turned into a war zone. On one side, you have people that were furious that Keith was there at all. For a lot of fans, simply even setting foot at Mar-a-Lago for them is a deal breaker. One fan wrote, "Well, Keith Urban is no longer on my playlist. What an epic failure and disappointment." Another wrote, "Let's boycott Keith Urban from everything and everywhere." The sentiment there is clear. You take money from a Trump donor, you play a Trump venue, you are endorsing the politics, apparently. Another user commented on Keith Urban's song choice of Pink Pony Club. They wrote, "First, Keith covers lots of artists. He sang that song at every tour show this year. Second, it's a private show for Pratt Industries, not the president." You had other comments like, "Wow, amazing evening with legends and the best president ever," sitting next to comments claiming that Keith betrayed his values. So, as with anything, you have some people who decide they don't like him anymore, but he's probably gaining more fans in addition to this. And this situation really highlights the tightrope that modern country artists have to walk these days. Keith Urban has built a career on really staying out of this stuff. Obviously, he's going through that divorce with Nicole Kidman. Over the course of their relationship, he's fit in with the Hollywood crowd, he fits in with the Nashville crowd, and he usually just stays out of the culture wars. But when you take a check for a private gig at a place as politically charged as Mar-a-Lago, apparently this is going to lead to backlash from a number of your fans. And if he plays the gig, the left gets mad. If he refuses to play the gig, the right gets mad. It's kind of a lose-lose situation if he decides to care about whatever backlash might come from that performance. And I think for him, he's an entertainer. He's going to show up, where there are opportunities for him to perform, and he didn't make any political statements. Unfortunately for him, it's a situation where you're not going to make anybody totally happy. Again, we saw a very similar situation earlier this year when the great Carrie Underwood showed up to perform at President Trump's inauguration, and she spoke about her love for the country, and she faced significant backlash just because she decided to play that gig. So let me know what you all think down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more news and updates.